Hi guys, how are you today? Oh my gosh, thanks for waiting. I'm really glad that you guys want to hear about this. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about, okay? I knew about Larissa being deported for a long time, but I actually forgot about it. I really forgot about it because it's such a long process. But this morning I was looking at Soap Dirt and they were talking about it on an article that they wrote, and I thought, well, if I forgot about it, my audience probably forgot about it. So let's explain back in detail what's going on so it's fresh in our minds, because I really forgot about it. And I also think that a lot of people think because she has a work visa that she's in the clear. Okay, so we all remember she got arrested 3 times for the things that happened to Colt. I'm trying to watch the censors here, but we all know what she got arrested for 3 times. When the third time Colt withdrew his affidavit for being her sponsor. I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. When you're a person's sponsor, you're financially responsible for them, and also that's what they need to remain in the country to get a K-1 visa. Okay, so but you could divorce and still not withdraw that sponsorship. That's what happened with Danielle and Mohammed. She didn't withdraw her sponsorship. Colt, on the other hand, did. So the minute he withdrew his sponsorship that's when the deportation process started. Okay. Now, when you're being deported, you're still allowed to get a work visa and work here, because sometimes it could take a long time for the deportation process to complete itself. Also, with COVID going on, this new pandemic that we're facing, all the courthouses were closed down, and so they're really behind on paperwork. But nevertheless, while she's still here and has a green card and can work, she's still in the process of being deported. Okay, now, I don't know if you guys watch The Housewives. I also cover Housewives. This is exactly what happened to Joe Giudice. It took a while. Oh God, I think it took for Joe to fully get deported around 3 years. It takes a while, but that doesn't mean you're not in the process of getting deported. She's going to get deported. The only thing that could save Larissa from getting deported is if she finds a new sponsor, aka husband. Okay, then she can remain here and the process will start all over. But right now, she doesn't have a sponsor. The clock is ticking, but she is dating that guy. He's going to be coming on the show. His name is Eric Nicholson or something like that. Maybe he could save her, but in the meantime, she's getting deported. And this is a lengthy process. We went through it with Joe Giudice. There's these appeals that go back and forth. It's a lengthy process, but nevertheless, people, she's getting deported. Okay. Now, do we feel sorry for Larissa? That's my question. I'm not sure. Let me bring on some help. Hi,
Hey,
Perry. How are you?
what's up, Sharrell? How you doing this morning?
Did that make sense how I explained it? Like she's getting deported, but she's still allowed to work, and she still has a work visa, and but she's still getting deported. Explain what you know about the process.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, because anytime you come over on any kind of K-1 visa or anything like that, it's part of the process for the person that's sponsoring her to sign that affidavit. That way, that person can't come over here. They bring somebody over, then that person can apply for food stamps, Medi-Cal, all this different stuff. That person is saying, I'm going to be responsible for this person until, she get her green card. Until that happens, Colt is under, but basically Colt got that responsibility, even though, no, he still got that responsibility, even though she's over here and he withdrew his affidavit. He's still responsible. That's why they enable her to get a work visa. I mean, a working permit, right?
Yeah.
Because that way it lessens the burden on him. Now she can work, but he's still responsible. She still can't go and get all this other stuff. So he's still on the hook for it. And but he's in the process. So, and once he does that, now that sort of kicks that that whole thing out of whack. Now she's back on that list of getting deported because the affidavit is what kept her over here at first, you know, as part of this time. But he withdrew it. He's basically saying cancel that contract. But even though she's not gone yet, so he's still responsible while she's here. But that started that process back for her to get deported. And like you said, it can take a couple. It can go from a year, maybe 4 years, you know, depending on the court cases and stuff like that. But I don't think it'll really come down to that because I think she will find somebody else. It's
find a husband.
It's many coats out there in the United States, and it saves them money where they don't have to go overseas or anywhere like that. That they can just meet her around the corner or something.
Do we feel sorry for Larissa?
Oh, I don't. I mean, you know, I don't feel sorry for her, and I don't think she's gonna really go anywhere. I don't feel sorry for her for these reasons. Like, she came over here to be with Colt. If that was your plan, then you should still be with Colt. But when that contract go bad, it's like a marriage. You know, you both agree to love each other, whatever. But when you divorce, you go your separate ways. So now she probably need to go back home, but it would probably never happen because somebody will marry her.
I mean, I go back and forth on how I feel about it. You know, and the 3 other charges didn't help her. Don't say the name. I'm tired of getting the sponsorship. But you know what happened with her and Cole, her going back, being
right.
That it didn't help matters. Do I feel sorry for Larissa? I go back and forth. I can't decide. People say pick a side. I don't know. Some people say, well, at least, you know, she still has children in Brazil. She'll be back there with her children. But we don't know. Maybe she would have brought her children over here one day. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. Am I allowed to be two-faced and in the middle right now, Perry?
I mean, not really. I mean, not really. No. You're not really allowed to, but that's where you are, you know, at this point.
I don't know. I feel bad because I think about what that person goes through that's in the process. It's an uneasiness. It's just, I guess yeah.
Well, I don't know. The only thing I know, if she really wanted to bring the kids over and her main intentions was to give my kids a better life and do it, then I think she would have truly, if her mind was on her kids, she would have stuck with Colt and we wouldn't even have this issue right now. She probably would have a green card and getting close to it and been closer to bringing her kids over. By leaving him, it let me know that she's not so much worried about the kids, is what she wants. And maybe at this point, I get to be real with you. Maybe she liked being single. She don't like the responsibility of having kids. So that's the only, that, you know, that's how I see it.
You're right. I went back and double checked because I thought once he withdrew the affidavit, he was no longer responsible. That stuff still has to go and get processed. So you're right. He's still responsible for her until the deportation actually takes place. So I clear that up. Yeah, I mean, listen, do you think Colt was being mean by withdrawing? I do not. I think that Danielle was extremely nice to Muhammad. You don't want to be responsible for someone's actions if they have nothing to do with you anymore. I think Colt did the right thing by withdrawing his sponsorship. What do you think about that, Perry?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the only thing to do. It's like, why would I stay in a marriage if we're not married? You know what I'm saying? So at that point, whether it's his fault, her fault, why the marriage didn't work out, when it's over, it's over. So he, you know, I mean, why would I be responsible for you for the next, I think it might be up to 10 years or something like
10
that.
years it is, yeah.
And we're not married. So, but when I brought you over, that was our intent.
Agreement, yeah.
When that intent went bad, that's it.
Carolyn.
So,
thank you, Carolyn. Go ahead.
That's how I feel about it. And then somebody said how I feel about Larissa, right? I feel like Larissa had an opportunity. She was with Colt, and not all relationships work out. But at some point, if they was more civil, right, about it, she probably could have stayed with Colt. Talk. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Basically just talk things out. And then maybe he would have been willing to keep the affidavit there and let her go and get the job.
She really complicated matters when she made friends with his new girl, his new girlfriend for us, but they end up breaking up. When she made friends with Jess, and then they really started coming after Colt. They're saying because all of those, they were going back and forth. But for me, that really killed the deal of Colt sponsoring you in any kind of way. You join up with his ex, you get in the middle, and then she introduced Jess to her new boyfriend, which is a friend of Larissa's. Exactly. She didn't help herself at all.
Now I feel like this, with Larissa, we can go back and forth and say, I feel sorry for it. Every individual got the right to make their own choices. I don't got to agree with everything, but that's your thing. But the whole thing is, the way I see it from the outside is that she's a person that's just worried about Larissa. Okay. And that's why, she's not buying extra clothes, sending it to her kids. She's going to get lip injections.
Oh my
No. Okay.
That's true. Go ahead, Perry.
What I'm saying is, a person that's trying to make it, what I'm saying? We all struggle from time to time.
Yeah.
You get to take care of home first before you go out and buy a luxury car, right? So I don't feel bad for her. And she is, by all rights, a gold digger. So I don't feel bad for her, and I don't feel bad for Colt neither, because Colt knew the reason why he went to a different country is because he felt like he had some kind of clout. Like I go back with Ed and everybody else. People go when they feel like I can use my American citizenship as a way of keeping this person with me.
Let's answer the question on the screen. They say, I like Larissa. This is impressed. I like Larissa. I feel bad for her because Colt was weird and his mom issues, and he kept calling the cops on her. This person has a point. What do you feel about that?
Well, I get it. But if you wake up in the middle of the night and somebody hitting you in the head with a lamp, I'm just saying, something got to go down.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have had to call the cops if it wasn't no incident. Perhaps. I don't think he just did it. I'm just going to call the cops and tell them to pick up my wife.
It's crazy. Let's take a couple calls and then we're out of here. Hi, Cathy Jones. How are you?
Yeah.
Hi. Do you feel sorry for Larissa?
No, because African Black people, dark-skinned people, get deported every single day back to our national origin of country. We get deported with no type of resources. We get deported with no money. We get deported with absolutely no way of surviving in these other countries.
You're saying when they deport you, they just send you back, no money, no programs, just get out of here? What happens? Do they pay for your flight back?
Only the flight, but Sharrell, when you get to this other country, you don't know the currency. What's the possibility of you getting a job? A lot of times they end up going into criminal organizations. They end up going to kidnap people and really going, in America, we love to say, oh yeah, you're in the hood, you're in the ghetto. But a lot of times there are resources. They may not be the best resources, but you have something, food stamps, some kind of something, where in these other countries, you have nothing.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Larissa, she's going back to Brazil. Again, I'm not saying the Brazil is the best country in the world, but she's going back to somewhere she speaks the language. She has some sort of education in that area to where she can survive. It's to the point where she had children. The kids don't look like they're hungry and poor.
Yeah. And wow. Listen,
Larissa has the aesthetics to where Colt is an idiot, but she can get 20,000 other idiots.
Yeah.
But any woman that does not look like her, we all getting deported, and I don't feel bad for him. Plus, Larissa was beating this man's behind. Yes, Colt is manipulative. Yes, he is. But at the end of the day, if you're coming to America, you come to work, you come to get your life in order for your children, not pulling behind Colt and going to jail every other minute.
Yeah. Listen, this is during the week, so I kind of keep it short. Thank you so much for calling. And I appreciate you explaining that to me. I really didn't know. Thank you. Bye. Okay, one more call. Hi, Jay. Hey,
hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Do you feel bad for Larissa?
No. She had ample time to find someone else and get married.
Before you know, I don't want my videos blocked today. Don't say the word that she got sent to what she did to Cole. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
no. I'm
Okay.
following. I won't. I follow rules.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing. Colt is a gaslighter, so I'm not surprised at her reactions and the issues that they had. Because if you watch the show, you can see he's that kind of guy. Oh, what do you mean? Why are you freaking out? But he said something awful. But I don't feel bad for her because she had ample time to find someone else and figure out her immigration situation. Her leaving her children, that's not uncommon. Like, I actually have family members that have done that as well. Like, it's unfortunate, but it does happen, like, when you have no choice. I don't feel bad for her, though, because she had a lot of time and she
So
could have
you're
tried to
saying
fix.
some family members say, you go first, and then after you get there, we'll reach back and get you guys. Is that how it works?
Yeah, not to nerd out too much, but historically, immigration, I'm from Canada, and immigration was set up in a way that it actually divided families. And so women were the only ones allowed in the country. Then they would eventually be able to sponsor their husbands and their children. So that's not uncommon, but Larissa had time. She had time. She had resources. She could have seen lawyers. She had a lot of opportunities to sort of fix the situation so that she wouldn't get deported. Yeah.
Well, she still has time. She can find her a new spouse.
Yeah, but now it's going to be suspicious, right? Because all of a sudden, like immigration's going to side eye that, right? Because immigration takes all those things into consideration. Yeah, like the timing, how come all of a sudden you have and so it would cause more scrutiny because it doesn't seem authentic anymore.
Oh, so
I
she's
also
in
have
trouble.
family members that work in immigration, but
She's
not
in trouble
American.
then. She's in trouble, most likely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, she had a boyfriend. I don't know why he hasn't asked her to marry. Like, how come that was never handled? That's, and so that's why it wouldn't work either if she just upped and married someone else when she's had a boyfriend for so long.
I don't know if you watch The Housewives, but they're really serious these days. We went through this with Joe Giudice.
Yeah, I know that story.
Remember, and they were saying, no, you're out of here. Go back. And so she's in trouble. She's in
His
trouble.
situation's even worse because he didn't know nothing about there. She lived there for until recently, in theory. So yeah.
Well, thanks for calling in, Jay. I really appreciate your calls. Okay, thank you. See you next time. Bye. She has a point. Oh my God. This has to look real to immigration. Larissa's in trouble.
I get it. But I think you have a harder time when you initially go through that process with the embassies and stuff like that. But I think once they actually get to the States, because it takes so long to deport them, typically it just takes for you to establish, because half the time you get to have pictures with the person and all that stuff. But if she's in the States, in my opinion, I don't work with the service to know exactly, but I think it's way easier once you're here to establish a relationship with somebody. And I think, they don't really care as much once you're here, in my opinion.
I disagree. I think Larissa's in trouble. She has 3 charges on her record. That's not going to help. I think that now people know, immigration realizes that she's in a situation that the only way she can stay is to find a spouse. I agree with Jay. It doesn't look really good when you go out all of a sudden and just get a spouse. I think she's in trouble, but neither of us know. You're leaning on she'll probably stay. I'm leaning on she'll probably leave. Right now, all we have to do is, the facts is you're in the process of being deported. So I don't know.
I'd say, for me personally, I would say, if I had to base it on percentage, I'd say she got an 85% chance of staying, 15% chance of leaving.
Now I think Larissa's out of here, because I went through the process with Joe. I didn't go through it, but I was covering it. And they are very stern these days on deportation. I mean, you get deported for the slightest little thing, and they're not letting up. I think she's out of here. I think that we have a new administration. This administration, they're not playing with deportation. And I just see her, she's in trouble, in my opinion. They are very stern, very, very stern. They deport you for the smallest thing. Anyway, Perry, thanks for coming on. This was a very good topic. We got to talk about this in detail on the block party. Let's take a couple more questions. I love the audience to get involved. I think she'll probably stay. I agree with Perry. You do? Phoenix, you agree with Perry? Larissa gets paid by TLC. What does she do with that money? It looks like she gets plastic surgery. I mean, plastic surgery, guys, is not cheap. I don't have anything against it. If you want to mess up your face, go ahead. But it's not cheap. So she's spending a lot of her money on plastic surgery. Thank you. Love you both. Thank you. We love you too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
One of Larissa's kids lives with her biological father and the other is with her father. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, sure. After saying that, right, and we talking about the TLC money. Mm-hmm. One thing I can say by looking at that last comment, mm-hmm. one kid stayed with her father. Mm-hmm. So obviously she's not sending money to her kid with her father because she's asking her father for money.
Yes, this is true.
That's why I go back to the whole thing. I think it's a difference. And what Jay was saying, a lot of families have to make that sacrifice, like to go and say, hey, let me go to this country, establish residence to try to make, but the ultimate goal is to make a better life for their family. I think she came over just to make a better life for herself. My opinion.
It looks that way. It's a harsh thing to say, but it looks that way. You're going to make me take a couple more questions. I want to see what the audience thinks. How come she asked her dad for? Yeah, this is what Perry is saying, is that she's having access to money, and it appears, we don't know for sure, that she's spending the money. She's not spending the money on her children. It looks like a lot is going to herself. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, the whip lady. It does appear to be very selfish. Okay, when Colt's mom is a new dad for him. Did Colt ever talk about his father, Perry?
I never heard him talk about his father.
I don't know anything about his father.
The father, the mother, neither.
I'm gonna look into that. You're right. I don't know anything about Colt's father. I'll look into that. One more. She claims that she put in for the visa. She did say she applied for some kind of visa. I don't see how.
Well,
maybe the work visa we're talking about?
No, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm not sure. Like, I don't work with immigration, right? But I'm saying, I guess you could put in for it. The thing is, a lot of people can put in for it. Are you going to get approved for it?
Right. Yeah.
And that can take a while too.
Yeah, it's not looking good. In my opinion, it's not looking good. And you have to admit this, Perry. They are deporting people for, they're getting stricter and stricter. They rather deport you than fall on the other side of the coin. Don't you agree with that? It's true.
I get it. I mean, I understand.
It's not looking good. I think Larissa's going back. Maybe she could pull a rabbit out of her hat.
Sharrell, it don't change my percentage. I said, my opinion, 85% chance she's going to stay.
And what is her excuse again that she's going to stay?
Huh?
Why do you think she's going to stay? Because you think she's going to find another spouse?
Yeah. I mean, it's plenty of coats out there. So she's with somebody now. It's a lot of lonely guys just want anybody, and they don't care why the girl want them. So they would sponsor her, and then we just go on with that. Now, and we won't know until about 4 or 5 years from now, probably. We get to come back and revisit it. But I'm saying 85%. I think it just went up to 90% that she'll stay.
Now that you said that, you're right, because she's going to make it her mission to find somebody.
Right.
Find someone, yeah. But right now she's in trouble. But like Perry said, she'll just get back out there and find someone else. All right, let's take one more question. I hope Larissa's deported. We don't need people like her here. You do have a point, Joanna, but Perry has a point too. And his point is she's going to make it her mission, her business, her job to find another spouse. That's just what I think. So.
And then that sponsor going to make it possible.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, thanks for dropping in on this video. It's a very important subject. I agree with Perry. I think Larissa will find someone else. Most likely she will stay. I was looking at it wrong at first. I was thinking of the honest way, but no, she'll find somebody to sponsor her. So it's really, and she has a lot of time. She's got a lot of things on her side. And one of them is the country's closed down because of the pandemic. So thank you guys. We'll see you in about an hour. I will be back with another housewife story and a special guest. All right.